The most dangerous female narcissists to date. Men never saw this coming. Have you ever wondered how someone so captivating, so alluring, can hide a dark, destructive nature behind a facade of charm and grace? Studies show that nearly 1 in 10 people exhibit clinically significant narcissistic traits, yet most men never suspect that the woman they trust could be one of the most dangerous forces in their lives. Imagine the shock of realizing that the person who once seemed so perfect, so alluring, is in fact a master manipulator whose very presence can leave lasting scars on your heart and mind. Today, we are going to dive deep into the shadowy realm of female narcissists, the most dangerous ones to date, revealing their secret tactics and dangerous behaviors that most men never saw coming. What exactly makes these individuals so uniquely destructive? And why do they often slip unnoticed into our lives, only to wreak havoc behind their charming smiles? Prepare to have your perceptions shattered as we explore the alarming truth about the most dangerous female narcissists and learn how to recognize and protect yourself from their insidious influence. Before we get started, I want to extend a heartfelt invitation to join our community by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video with anyone who might be struggling with the aftermath of toxic relationships. Your support is essential in helping us spread awareness about the hidden dangers of narcissistic abuse and empower more people to reclaim their lives. Today's discussion is grounded in clinical psychology and based on extensive research and real-life case studies. We will dissect the behaviors and tactics of these female narcissists, analyze why their actions can be so devastating, and provide you with the insight you need to safeguard your emotional well-being. So, if you've ever felt blindsided by a partner whose charm masked a capacity for ruthless manipulation, you're in the right place. Let's uncover the secrets together and empower ourselves with the knowledge to build healthier, stronger relationships. Narcissism, at its core, is a personality disorder characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a relentless craving for admiration, and a profound lack of empathy for others. Female narcissists, in particular, possess a unique blend of charm, wit, and social savvy that allows them to seamlessly blend into any social circle. They often project an image of elegance and sophistication, drawing you in with their magnetic personality. In public, they appear confident, successful, and caring. They are the embodiment of grace under pressure. Yet behind this polished veneer lies a turbulent inner world, one driven by a desperate need to control and manipulate those around them. In the context of romantic relationships, this duality creates a toxic dynamic where the initial attraction is soon replaced by a relentless cycle of idealization and devaluation, a cycle that leaves their partners emotionally devastated and questioning their own worth. The problem is that many men enter relationships with these narcissistic women under the false impression that they have found a truly ideal partner, a woman who seems to have it all together, whose beauty, charm, and intelligence promise a life of passion and fulfillment. However, as time goes on, the cracks begin to show. The behaviors that once seemed like compliments slowly turn into subtle manipulations. The initial outpouring of affection gives way to controlling behaviors, where every word, every gesture, and every decision is designed to assert her dominance over you. You might find yourself constantly walking on eggshells, trying to anticipate her moods and reactions, only to be met with sudden outbursts of anger or cold indifference when you fail to meet her impossible expectations. The reality is that these female narcissists are not in search of genuine connection. They are in pursuit of control, validation, and power. Many men who have experienced these relationships report a profound sense of betrayal and confusion, as the narcissist's behavior shifts unpredictably from loving and adoring to dismissive and demeaning. It is a roller coaster of emotions where the highs are intoxicating and the lows are devastating. You come to believe that if you can just keep up with her demands, if you can just be the perfect partner, she might someday return to the person you fell in love with. But in truth, her capacity for genuine intimacy is non-existent. What you experience is merely a well-rehearsed performance aimed at reinforcing her own self-worth at your expense. This painful dynamic leaves you feeling not only emotionally drained, but also trapped in a cycle of dependency that is hard to break. As a psychologist, I have seen firsthand how the very traits that make these women appear irresistible in public are the same traits that cause profound harm in private. Their mastery of manipulation, their ability to twist reality and rewrite the narrative of the relationship, is both fascinating and frightening. They use every tool at their disposal, charming smiles, eloquent words, and even feigned vulnerability, to lure you in only to later reveal a cold, calculating nature that is solely focused on maintaining control. This duality is what makes them so dangerous. On the surface, they seem to be everything a man could desire, a strong, independent, and alluring partner. But once the initial enchantment wears off, you find that you are caught in a web of their design, where your feelings, your thoughts, and even your actions are constantly manipulated to serve their self-serving ends. Now let's delve into the key tactics that these female narcissists use to dominate and control their relationships, particularly in ways that leave men completely unprepared for the fallout. One of the most insidious tactics is known as love bombing. In the early stages of the relationship, a narcissistic woman will shower you with an overwhelming amount of attention, affection, and praise. Every gesture is designed to make you feel special, desired, and indispensable. The constant flow of compliments and grand romantic gestures creates an emotional high that is hard to resist. You are led to believe that you have found a partner who truly adores you, someone who sees you as unique and irreplaceable. However, this phase is merely a prelude to what comes next. A calculated manipulation aimed at making you emotionally dependent on her validation. Once you are thoroughly hooked, the love-bombing phase gives way to devaluation, a dramatic and sudden shift in behavior. The very tactics that once made you feel cherished now become weapons to keep you off balance. She may start to criticize your choices, belittle your achievements, or even use passive-aggressive comments to undermine your confidence. This shift is not accidental. It is a deliberate strategy designed to erode your self-esteem and ensure that you remain tethered to her emotional supply. You begin to question your own worth, wondering what you did to deserve such treatment, and each instance of devaluation reinforces the belief that you are only as valuable as she deems you to be. This cycle of idealization followed by devaluation creates a toxic emotional landscape, one where you are constantly striving for the moments of affection that have become increasingly rare. Another common tactic employed by these female narcissists is gaslighting. Gaslighting is a psychological manipulation technique where the narcissist deliberately causes you to doubt your own perceptions and memories. Over time, the persistent gaslighting can make you question your sanity and your ability to interpret events accurately. When she denies or twists your recollections, you start to lose trust in your own judgment, making you even more reliant on her version of reality. This manipulation is especially dangerous because it not only undermines your confidence, but also isolates you from external sources of validation. As you become more entangled in her narrative, the lines between what is true and what is manipulated blur, leaving you in a state of constant confusion and emotional vulnerability. Yet another strategy that these narcissistic women deploy is emotional blackmail. When a narcissist feels that she is losing control, she may resort to threatening behavior or manipulative tactics that force you to comply with her demands. This can take the form of guilt tripping, where she reminds you of all the sacrifices you've made for her, or even using threats of self-harm or withdrawal of affection as leverage. The goal is to keep you in a state of constant compliance, to ensure that you remain available as a source of emotional sustenance. By playing on your compassion and your desire to avoid conflict, she creates a scenario where your own needs are subordinated to hers, further entrenching the power imbalance in the relationship. In addition to these tactics, a narcissistic woman may also use social manipulation to isolate you from your support network. By subtly undermining your relationships with friends, family, or colleagues, she ensures that you have few, if any, external sources of validation. This isolation makes it even harder for you to see the truth of her manipulative behavior, as the only perspective you have is the one she controls. Over time, you begin to rely solely on her for emotional support, which only deepens your dependency and makes it more difficult to break free. This calculated isolation is one of the most dangerous aspects of narcissistic abuse, as it leaves you without a safety net and completely vulnerable to further manipulation. The culmination of these tactics, love bombing, devaluation, gaslighting, emotional blackmail, and social isolation, creates an environment in which you are left feeling utterly dependent on her for validation. This dependency is the very fuel that powers her narcissistic supply, and it is what she needs to maintain her illusion of control. But here is where the power shifts. The moment you begin to recognize these patterns for what they are, the moment you start to reclaim your own self-worth and break free from her manipulative grip, is the moment when she will ultimately regret losing you. The key insight here, one that many psychologists emphasize, is that the narcissist's strength is entirely dependent on your emotional reactions. Every time you succumb to her manipulations, every time you allow her to dictate your mood and your self-esteem, you reinforce her belief that she is indispensable. But when you make the conscious decision to focus on your own healing and reclaim your power, you starve her of the emotional supply that has fueled her for so long. As you grow stronger and more independent, her tactics lose their potency, and the carefully constructed world she built around you begins to crumble. It is not an immediate transformation, but a gradual process of self-empowerment and emotional detachment that leaves her scrambling for control, a control she no longer possesses. This is the most empowering realization. Your worth is not determined by the narcissistic validation that she desperately craves. Instead, your value is intrinsic, growing stronger with every step you take towards independence and self-care. The pain you endured in her presence becomes a testament to your resilience, and each moment of emotional detachment is a victory over the manipulative tactics she used to keep you subjugated. As you distance yourself from her influence, you find that her ability to hurt you diminishes until eventually her memory becomes nothing more than a painful lesson in the importance of self-respect and personal growth. I want you to understand that the journey to reclaiming your power from a narcissistic woman is not an easy one. It requires time, patience, and a commitment to your own healing. There will be moments of doubt, times when you question your decision, and perhaps even days when the emotional wounds seem too deep to heal. But every effort you make towards establishing your independence, every boundary you set, chips away at the narcissist's hold over you. You are not defined by her manipulation or her empty promises. You are defined by your strength, your resilience, and your unwavering commitment to living a life filled with genuine love, respect, and self-worth. In closing, if you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissistic woman who made you feel small, controlled, or unworthy, know that there is hope for healing. The narcissist's tactics, no matter how sophisticated or painful they may seem, are ultimately a reflection of her own deep-seated insecurities and her desperate need for control. As you reclaim your power and focus on your own growth, you render her manipulative strategies ineffective. Your journey to emotional freedom is marked by every moment of self-affirmation, every instance where you choose to prioritize your well-being over her demands. And in the end, her inability to hold on to you will be her greatest regret, a regret that is not a measure of your worth, but a testament to her own failures. If you found this video insightful, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who might be struggling with narcissistic abuse or toxic relationships. Your support is vital. It helps us spread awareness about these destructive patterns and empowers more people to break free from the cycle of manipulation. I invite you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your story might be the beacon of hope that someone else needs to hear. And if you're interested in learning more about how to heal from narcissistic abuse and reclaim your life, be sure to check out our next video on emotional recovery and self-empowerment. Stay strong, stay empowered, and always remember, the power to reclaim your life is always within your reach. I'll see you in the next video.